All right, how you doing? Mr. DJ's back, counting down my fantasy playlist. September 29th, 1981. We're almost halfway there to number one at number 24, a Lost 45 by the Allman Brothers. How about that? Straight from the heart. Although this record does not sound anything like the Allman Brothers of the 70s from the Eat a Peach days. Whipping Post and Sweet Melissa. Oh gosh, dog it. I'm trying to think of some more great Allman Brothers records. I think another one was called Dreams, that southern rock sound that they moved away from on this record. It's from their eighth album called Brothers of the Road. The song was written by Johnny Cobb and Dickie Betts, the guitar player, one of the guitar players of the Allman Brothers. Capricorn Records, they're off the Capricorn record label, the Allman Brothers, but Capricorn collapsed in 1979. Allman Brothers, they were without a record label. They signed with Arista Records. The head of Arista Records was the legendary Clive Davis. And Clive Davis thought that a change was in order for the Allman Brothers. The southern rock that they were doing was a bit less popular in the 80s. I mean, the music scene was changing in the 80s. It wasn't like it was during the Allman Brothers' heyday in the early to mid 70s. It was changing. He was correct in that part of it. But he wanted the Allman Brothers to modernize their sound, to move away from their roots, and that probably was not a good idea. He brought in some outside producers. One of them was John Ryan, who worked with Styx and the Doobie Brothers, and the eighth album, Brothers of the Road, was a little bit of an embarrassment for the Allman Brothers because it was such a departure from what they were used to doing. I mean, you are who you are. And you know something? I read that Clive Davis had did this with somebody else in the late 60s, Tony Bennett. He wanted Tony Bennett to do a cover of Lennon and McCartney songs. But that's not Tony Bennett. Tony Bennett is more of the traditional. His well string is more of the traditional songwriters and singers back in the 1920s and 30s. That's him. So it is a decade later with the Allman Brothers. The Allman Brothers are not the Doobie Brothers. And this song sounds like a Doobie Brothers record. It does. It sounds like What a Fool Believes, a little bit like What a Fool Believes. It even sounds a little bit like Still Away by Robbie Dupree, which was a hit back in 1980. I hear that in this record. And that's definitely not the Allman Brothers. But they wanted a hit and they got one. It wasn't very big, but it made top 40, went to number 39. Ramblin' Man was one of their hits back in 1973, but that was different from this record right here on my fantasy playlist, Straight from the Heart at number 24. Well, I guess I'm done. So let's go ahead and get on to the next song on my fantasy countdown. Allman Brothers was Straight from the Heart at number 24 on my fantasy playlist, September 29th, 1981.